Okay. The demand for imported rice in Zambia is estimated as QD equals 8,000 minus 15 PR plus 12 PM plus 0.4 M minus 200 M. Where PR is the price of maize, so this is the price of maize. PM or price of rice. PM is the price of maize. M is the household income. A is advertising. Okay? Yes. So, colleagues, first things first, we need to know how to interpret these demand multivariable demand functions. Okay, because the quantity demanded of rice has got a relationship with its own price, the price of maize, and the price of the income, household income, and advertising. All these variables affect the quantity demanded of rice. This 8,000, it means when the price of rice is zero, price of maize is zero, people's income is zero, and the zero advertising, this is the quantity demanded of rice. This is what this 8,000 is. Okay. Mhm. So this is how you interpret the relationships here. It's all about the symbol in front of the letter. Okay. The minus and plus sign. It will tell you what type of relationship. So if we look at the relationship between the quantity demanded of rice and the price of rice, holding other variables constant, ceteris paribus, meaning all these other variables, they don't change. This minus sign is telling us if you increase the price of rice, quantity demanded of rice will drop. And if you drop the price of rice, quantity demanded of rice is going to increase. Law of demand. Because of this minus sign, negative relationship, meaning price and quantity move in opposite directions. When we look at the relationship between the quantity demanded over rice and the price over maize, there is a plus sign here, positive relationship, meaning if the price of maize goes up, the quantity demanded of rice is going to go up. And if the price of maize goes down, the quantity demanded of rice is going to go down. Because of this plus sign here, okay, holding other variables constant. If we look at the relationship between the quantity demanded of rice and household income here, there is a plus sign here, meaning if household income increases, quantity demanded of rice increases. If household income drops, quantity demanded of rice is going to drop. Okay. Then finally, the relationship between quantity demanded of rice and advertising. There's a minus sign here, meaning if advertising goes up, okay, surprisingly, the quantity demanded of rice is going to go down. And if advertising goes down, the quantity demanded of rice is going to go up. Imagine that, colleagues. Usually, advertising it should have a positive sign, but here it has a minus sign. Okay, so we're going to go to, so we've been given the price of rice, the price of maize, the household income, and advertising. All right, so they're saying calculate the quantity of rice demanded under these conditions. So, colleagues, what it just means here, so what it means is this 40 price of rice, you substitute it here. This 20 price of maize, you bring it here. This income 5,000, you bring it here. And advertising, this 50, you bring it here. Okay, this is what all of this means. This is what all of this means. So I already did that. Let me see here. All right, so as you can see here, price of rice 40 kwacha, price of maize 20 kwacha, income 5,000, advertising 50. 15 times 40, 600. 12 times 20, 240. 0.4 times 5,000, 2,000. 200 times 50, 10,000. So when you do all of this, 8,000 minus 600 plus 240 plus 2,000 minus 10,000, you get negative 360. Okay. Yes. So basically, as we said, quantity demanded can never be negative units. So it's just like almost saying quantity demanded is zero. Okay. We can never demand negative units. Okay. But yes, this is the quantity demanded of the rice. Any questions? Determine whether maize is a substitute or a complement for rice, and whether rice is a normal or inferior good. Justify using coefficients. So the coefficient is the number in front of the letter, and you look at the sign of that number. Okay. A coefficient is a number in front of a letter. Okay. So to determine if maize is a substitute or a complementary good, again, as I said, you are going to look at the relationship between the price of maize and the quantity demanded of rice, holding other factors constant. All right. We have a positive 12 coefficient here. Okay. It's a positive. The fact that the coefficient is positive tells us there is a positive relationship between these two goods. Meaning, if the price of maize increases, all right, maize becomes expensive, and these people substitute that maize with the rice. That's why the quantity demanded of rice is going to increase. Okay. And if the price of maize drops, maize becomes cheaper in relation to rice. So people substitute the rice and buy more maize. Therefore, quantity demanded of rice will drop. Okay. So because of our positive coefficient here, we say they are substitute goods. Okay. Rice and maize are substitute goods. Okay. Yes. So how to know when to determine if goods are substitute or complementary? Look at the price of the other good, okay, and compare it with the quantity demanded. If this was a minus sign here, if it was a minus 12, we would have said they are complementary goods, meaning they are used hand in hand together. Meaning, if the price of maize goes up, since maize is expensive and maize is used together with rice, so meaning the quantity demanded of rice is going to drop. Okay, they'll be moving in opposite directions. If the price of maize goes down, since maize and rice are used together, so people buy more maize, and if they buy more maize, they have to buy rice, meaning quantity demanded of rice will go up. So remember that, colleagues, all right? If you have a positive coefficient, substitute goods. If it's a negative coefficient, complementary goods. Okay. Yes. Any questions? Complementary if the coefficient had a negative sign. Then, for determining if rice is a normal or an inferior good, you look at the relationship between the quantity demanded of rice and income, holding other variables constant. Okay. We have a positive coefficient here, plus 0.4. This means rice is a normal good. Okay. Because when people's income increases, since there is a positive coefficient, so if people's income increases, quantity demanded of rice is going to also increase. Okay. Normal goods, when your income increases, you buy more of it. All right. So normal goods, it has to have a positive coefficient. If it's an inferior good, then it has to have a negative coefficient. Because remember, inferior goods, when your income increases, you buy less. Okay, so if this was a minus sign here, if the income increased, we would buy less, not more. Okay, and if our income dropped, we would have bought more. Okay, so inferior good, negative sign. Okay. Yes. Okay, number three. Oh, any questions before we go to number three? Oh, and I forgot to also mention these numbers. So for let's start with in, this income here. So if income increases by 1 unit, quantity of rice is going to increase by 0.4 units. That's what we're saying here. When you look at the relationship between these two, holding other factors constant. If income drops by 1 unit, quantity demanded of rice also drop by 0.4 units. That's what the 0.4 means. And this 12, when price of maize increases by 1 unit, all right, quantity demanded of rice is going to increase by 12 units. When price of maize drops by 1 unit, quantity demanded of rice will drop by 12 units. Okay, that's what these numbers basically are representing. All right. Write out the demand curve for rice as a function of PR only, holding all other variables at the given values, and derive the inverse demand function. So colleagues, here what they're asking us to do. What they're asking us to do here is this. These values, PM equals 20, M equals 5,000, A equals 50. We're bringing them back here. 20 here, 5,000 there, 50 there. But this PR, we're not going to bring it. It's still going to stay as it is. Okay? Because you are writing the demand function. So this PR equals 40, do not substitute it in. Okay? So when we do that, okay, when we do that, 12 times 20, 240. 0.4 times 5,000, 2,000. 200 times 50, 10,000. So when you do 8,000 plus 240 plus 2,000 minus 10,000, you get 240. Okay, 240 minus 15 PR. Okay, 240 Q equals 240 minus 15 PR. Now they're saying derive the inverse demand function. When you hear inverse demand function, colleagues, what they're asking you is just make price the subject of the formula. All right. make price the subject of the formula. That's all they mean when they say an inverse demand function. So what we can do is we can take this negative 15 over the equal sign, and this positive q, we can take it off. So when we take the negative 15 PR over the equal sign, it becomes 15 PR equals 240 minus q. Mm-hmm. Yes. Another question? Okay. How about the others? Can the others see the screen? Try to log in and log out, sir. Okay. Let me continue. Yes. So we have to make PR by itself. We have to remove this 15. So it means we divide both sides by 15. Okay. So our inverse demand function is going to be 240 minus q over 15. But we can simplify it further. Okay. You can just do this. You say 240 divided by 15 minus q divided by 15. Okay, so let's just do this. 240 divided by 15. Six. Then here, it's like we have a 1 over 1q over 15. Okay, so if you don't want to leave it as a fraction, you can say 1 divided by 15, that is 0.0666. So maybe you can put 0.0666q. Okay. Yes. So you can present it like this, you'll still be marked correct. You can also present it like this, 16 minus q over 15, you'll still be marked correct. Okay. Or you can simplify it further and present it like this, 16 minus 0.066q. You'll still be marked correct, right? That is the inverse demand function.